Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to share some guidance and pull some cards for this week. That's this week starting Monday the 6th of December through to Sunday the 12th of December 2021. So while you're coming in, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So welcome. If you're new to watching, what I'll be doing is using my combined Animal Kingdom Oracle cards that have been mixed up with my Speed of Light Oracle cards. These cards have been combined together to make a 110 card deck, and I'll be using this deck to find the best cards for this week. So I'm looking for the best cards for the majority of us today. I'm not pulling cards for individuals, so I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared will support you at this time or during this incoming week. So thank you for joining me today. Let's do a quick shout out. We've got Chelsea here. Good morning, Chelsea. Hi, Veselina and Kathy from California. We've got Jojo. Hi, Joe. And Kathleen. Good morning. And Lee Britt is here. Welcome, Lee Britt. And everyone else who's watching today. The real Joe Ryan is here. Yes, my exhibition opening went very well. Thank you very much for asking. And now I'm just settling down from that and getting back into stuff, back into everyday life things. So it's very exciting to be here and touch base with you and see what this week will potentially have to offer for us. So also good morning to Tanya and B. Lynn, and Linda is here. Thanks, Linda. Hi, Mary and Rika from South Africa. Good morning, Lee and Margarita and Siobhan. Thank you, Siobhan. That's lovely to say. And Annie's here and Kathy's here. Judith is here too. I'm dropping cards and everything's happening. Okay, so welcome, Lorraine and Louise. So while I'm shuffling, just kind of getting the deck set up. Noel, welcome. Just a recap of last week's theme. Last week's theme card was Overlapping Worlds. Overlapping Worlds, which talks about being in a time of transition, so being in between things. The old door probably hasn't fully closed and the new door hasn't fully opened. So it's like we're walking through the hallway in between these sorts of things. So that was our theme card for last week, which I can certainly relate to. I don't know if you can as well. But it's a new week and a new day. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday the 6th of December. And the time is exactly 9:53 a.m. Okay, so I'm shuffling now and holding the intention that I want to find the best cards for this week ahead. The best cards that make the most sense to the majority of us that are connecting here today and later to the replay. So what do we need to know this week, the 6th of December through to the 12th, 2021? Okay, let's split the deck. I'm laying them face down here beside me. And we have a mix of cards today. We've got four Speed of Light and 3 Animal Kingdom. Okay, let's turn these over and see what we've got. Interesting. Okay, we've got no featured cards, no dragons. We've got 2 wolves. So there are 3 wolves in the between the 2 decks. So we've got 2 of them have come up. So let's start with the first wolf. This is the alpha male wolf that's coming up, especially for Monday. And as we start the week, it may even be in effect from the end of last week. So if you're still in the Sunday, it may still be in effect for you as well. But it's card 48. And it's the wolf, and it says to secure your boundaries. So this is very much about starting the week, making sure our boundaries are really secure and supportive as well, and healthy. and that we're not giving our power away to other things or other people, or even our negative thoughts or thoughts that are sort of pulling our power or our energy away from this moment, to take the steps that we need to do to refocus and get our energy back into our body, back into our own head, back into our heart, and back into the things that are truly important. So it feels to be like a reining in of our energy early in the week, which we may decide, or for some of us may translate to a securing of our boundaries. But it's mainly that reining of our energy back in is the feeling. So if things have become a bit, if we've become a bit obsessed with things, or constantly thinking about things that are not healthy and supportive for us, that will also draw our energy away from our body and into these things, whatever it is. It could be a person, a situation, something that just happened, something that we're worried about in the future, all these things that we sort of are thinning out our energy as we're putting our attention and our energy into these things. So the boundaries are about, it feels to me like securing those boundaries, like making sure the fence is up around us, reeling or reining our energy back in, like we're reeling in a fish on a fishing line, and that represents our energy that we're bringing back to ourselves, so we can really sort of consolidate our energy is the feeling, and our attention, so where our attention is going and what we want our attention to be on. If our attention is going on to things that we don't want to be thinking about, or that are not healthy or supportive for us, then we have the power. We have the power to bring our energy and attention back. And for some of us, it may require some detaching. It may require looking closely at our boundaries. We may need to assess things that are going on at the moment, and what's draining us, what's tiring us, what's exhausting us, and strengthening things up a little bit. So that's very much at the beginning here of the week, is to secure our boundaries, but probably most importantly for some of us is to rein our energy back in and, bring it closer to home, bring it into our body, so we can use this energy to create things and to live our life, and experience our relationships and our friendships, instead of thinking things and having attention that's been spread out all over the place. Then as we move into Tuesday, so we've got Tuesday the 7th of December, and we have the Cockatoo. The Cockatoo is card 47, and it says to be compromising. So we've been encouraged, especially around Tuesday, to find a compromise, and this may be, it's most likely connected with another person. It can also be connected with our own body and our relationship with it, because, sometimes we want to be doing things, or there's things, but our body might not be feeling the best. So we have to sort of make a compromise so that we can work with the energy levels of our body, or the state of our body. So we can also go through sort of those personal compromises too. But it's most likely connected with another person, where we might find we need to find a compromise in a situation, or in a difficulty that might be a bit sort of rough around the edges at the moment. There is also a strong social element too with this card. So it might highlight for some of us on Tuesday this social element, this conversations, this sort of speaking up. These are very vocal birds, as I'm sure a lot of you know. So that sort of vocal element, being vocal, being verbal, but also this sort of connection with others, this social element may be important for some of us. And I'm going to dart over across my card layout here to Wednesday, the 8th of December. And we have the card 47. We already had a 47. Okay, interesting. We've had the two 47s and a 48 in the three cards. So that's interesting in itself. It's card 47. It says persistence. So it says here patience, solution, question, answer, and night. So we've been encouraged, especially around Wednesday, or we could say midweek. It feels like I want to include Thursday. So around Wednesday and Thursday, to be patient and to be persistent. Now is not the time to give up. But maybe we need to sort of step back, get our bearings, rebalance ourselves, rein our energy back in, get refocused on our priorities, and then we'll feel that motivation to continue, we could say. So we may feel like we want to give up around midweek, but we are being almost forced in some ways to step out of our comfort zone and continue to be patient and continue to be persistent with, it could be a specific situation. It may be life in general too at the moment. There's also a lot of power in the night, and I want to say the night that borders Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday night, early Thursday morning feels to be a powerful time to sort of assess that, and maybe to sort of affirm our patience, our trust in perfect timing, and keep motivating ourselves to, you know, see this through. Let's remember why we started, this sort of thing, so that we don't run away, or we don't give up, or we don't stop something. So that's the feeling there. So Wednesday night may be a little bumpy for some of us, depending on what this is and how deep this sort of sits for us. And then over here to Thursday, the 9th, we have card 18, New Pathways. This one came up recently. I can't remember if it was last week. So much has happened this week. So it could be last week or the week before. But this has come up recently, and it's card 18, New Pathways. And it says options, children, birth, choice, and life. So life is calling to us, especially around Thursday. And we may find after our Wednesday night, sort of whatever happens Wednesday night, we may find that we wake up on Thursday or rise up with the sun on Thursday and feel this sort of a new motivation, a new inspiration to continue on our life's path. There is a feeling with this card too about options or pathways. So it's a bit like we're standing at a crossroad, but the paths that lead out from us, there might be 5 or 6 potential paths. So it feels like options, choices, opportunities that will potentially come up on Thursday for us to make a choice about what do we want to do, which path do we want to take, what decision do we want to make, because whatever decision we make will also likely determine the path that we're going to walk. And of course, if we can't make a decision, if we're sitting in procrastination or unclear, if we're feeling a lack of clarity about a decision that we need to make, then that is also a choice that will also determine the path that we're taking as well. So no action, no choice, no decision is also a choice, a path, a decision. So it feels almost to me like, you know, let's step up and make that choice or make that decision that we need to make. Choose that path, you know, consciously choose it. And in some ways, the days building up to this on Thursday are like maybe a time of reflection, reining our energy back, sort of getting our power back to in our body. And by Thursday, we may be in a clearer space to be able to make that decision that we need to make, or that choice that's before us. So Indigo, sorry, it used to be called Indigo, now it's called New Pathways. So New Pathways. Okay, and now we're going over, so I'm sort of zigzagging across my spread here to Friday. Friday the 10th, and we have card 34 called Healed. And it says golden light, wounds, blocks and dissolve. This brings highlight to our physical body. And our physical body may require some healing, some downtime, some recoup, mending, especially around Friday. So those of us that feel that might feel that, we're being encouraged to really look after our body on Friday. So if you're dealing with things that are not physical in nature, like a physical healing that you need, like injury or illness or difficulty in health-wise, this also may show up as things that are stirring in us that we need to let go of, and we need to sort of dissolve or release or surrender, that we may be storing in our body. So it may show up as an injury or a strange pain or a strange pull that we feel in our body that may not make much sense, but it's sort of a shift of energy that's sitting very deeply in our body that needs to be released. So making time for our body on Friday feels to be quite important for some of us, for our body, and also to make some time to release and let go. Probably quite physical things that we've been holding on to too. So it could be physical things from our past. It could be anything that's sort of affecting us in a physical way. It could even be connected actually with our survival needs. So having a roof over our head, having food to eat, our general health as well. Okay, so then we hit the weekend. So Saturday the 11th of December, and we have the Sea Dragon card, 18. And the Sea Dragon says to be gentle with yourself. So there is a bit of a sensitivity that feels like it's going to come in early in the weekend. This feels to be a bit of a sensitive, gentle card. We may feel a bit fragile or a bit, what's the word? It sort of feels to be a little bit on edge, maybe taking things a little too personally. Perhaps that might come into effect too on Saturday potentially. But there is a gentleness that wants to come in, and we're being encouraged to really think about being gentle with ourselves, especially if we're feeling a bit tender or fragile or oversensitive. If we've been overreacting to things or taking things very personally, it may do us well to really think about being gentle with ourselves. So there is a gentleness and maybe even some self-care time for some of us on Saturday. It's a bit of an interesting week, isn't it, compared to all these really intense weeks that we've been having. And then we started the week with the wolf, and we're ending the week with the wolf. This is for Sunday, and it's the wolf from the Speed of Light Oracle, card 44. And it says instinct, moon, cycles, flow, and trust. So there's still that lunar energy that still feels tied into the Sea Dragon. It feels watery, it feels lunar, it feels in some ways a bit emotional, a bit sensitive. We could tap into this and it might stir up our creativity, which aligns very closely with emotions too. So that may be something that works for some of us. But there is this general welling of emotion is the feeling here. So the phases is what this wolf is talking about. It's talking about the cycles and phases that we're currently going through in our life. And things move in cycles and phases. So we're moving through a really important phase at this time. So it might be helpful for us to sit in our depth of feeling that we might feel this week at times, the deep things that are happening and the things that are shifting for us. If we sit in these things and reflect on when have we felt maybe this phase before? Have we felt something similar in months or years past? And reflecting on how we dealt with that, how we resolved that, and reminding ourselves mostly that that energy sort of cycles through. It's rare that anything really is stuck in stone energetically and emotionally, because the emotions want to be in motion, so they're always moving if we allow them to. If we become stuck or stagnant, usually we're holding on to an emotion. It could be grief. Grief is certainly an emotion we get stuck in because of various reasons, but mainly because we're grieving. So grief is a great example of where we can really become stagnant emotionally because we're holding in that grief state for whatever reason. That's personal for us. So we can hold on to all sorts of emotions. It could be bitterness, it could be disappointment, anger, and if we're not letting ourselves let the emotion move and be in motion, then we hold ourselves stuck and stagnant. So in many ways, this card's reminding us of the cycles, of the phases, of the movement of energy, the movement of the cycles of the moon, the movement of the tides, the movement of our own swelling of emotions as our emotions wax and wane. And we might have a little bit of an emotional week in general, especially around the weekend is the feeling. And that's not a bad thing, because emotions are great indicators to show us where we may be out of balance, what we're doing in our life that's not working for us. We may be wanting to do something with our life that we're feeling scared about or fearful of or resistant of. So we could have this push and pull between our heart and our mind, where our heart wants us to do this, but our head is talking us out of it. So we have this sort of emotional rhythm that's always there, and it's not a bad thing. In fact, I kind of welcome these emotional times because it teaches me a lot about where I'm at in my life, what I've been holding on to and what I can release, where I'm going, and how balanced or out of balance I might be in my body. So try not to think, oh no, an emotional weekend, but let's sort of find the courage to dive into it, because it could be an opportunity for us to clear some things and to clear the stagnant, heavy emotion that's been hovering, so that we can get that energy moving again. So we can get back in the flow and the rhythm of our life and of our experience. So those stuck emotions are real for us, but if we can remember, I know for me, it's helpful to remember that emotions want to be in motion. So, and I remind myself, and I probably will a lot this week by the look of the energy and the feel of it, is how can I feel my way forward? How can I feel my way forward? Especially if I'm feeling a bit stuck, or stuck with emotion, or stuck with stuff. So I trust that makes sense. Interesting week. Yeah, so we're being guarded by the two wolves on either side. So we've got wolf at the beginning on Monday, wolf at the end on Sunday, and they almost feel like guardians or protectors that are looking out for us. That didn't really come out properly. That are sort of protecting us or guarding us. So, you know, we are safe and protected while we go through perhaps a bit of an emotional rumbling this week. But we have these two guardians, so like two wolf statues that are sitting on either side of our week to keep us protected. You know, because when we're feeling vulnerable and fragile and emotional, we can feel a bit unsafe. We can feel a bit unprotected. So it feels important to know that these wolves are there to protect us and help keep us safe, so we feel safe, so we can feel the feelings that we feel. You know, feeling safe to feel our feelings. So we don't mask them or cover them, but we can sit and settle into our feeling and ultimately let them move. So I trust that makes some sense. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to pull a card to go. And this will be very interesting because there is quite a strong sense of theme already for the week. So our theme card I'm about to pull will help us see the bigger picture in a different way potentially, or affirm what I've already been talking about. We will see. But before I pull that card, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this connection and this time we've spent together, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. If you'd like to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you are new to watching, please hit the follow or like button if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube watching, Temple of Balance on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button so you can see these again in the future. Please come back to the recording to get your bearings throughout the week if you need to. And if you would love to learn more about me and the work I do here at Temple of Balance, if you would love to support it, then please visit templeofbalance.com.au. So coming up this week, I have my next online art class for anybody, beginners, welcome if you want to dive into some art. In fact, that's going to be very interesting because we're doing the art class Friday night and going into very emotionally oceanic, watery, lunar sort of energy for the weekend. And our theme for the art class this week is mystery, which feels very lunar, very cloaked kind of energy to tap into. So I've got a feeling that this art class is also going to help us shift some energy. So if you're drawn to that, please have a look on my website, templeofbalance.com.au, and you can find the prompt there on the home page. You can learn more. It's at a different time this week, so this month. So have a look and see. It may suit you better. And we'll dive into something mysterious. Who knows what it's going to be? I don't know at all. But I like flowing with it, so we'll see what happens. So, the best card for the theme now. The theme card will help bring these days this week together and help us see the bigger picture for this week, the 6th through to the 12th of December 2021. So, the best card, the absolute best card for the theme for this week is this. Okay, we have an Animal Kingdom Oracle card, and it's the giraffe. Okay, card 33. And the giraffe says to look at things differently. So this is about perspective and perception. And it's interesting when we're in a heightened emotional state, how warped we perceive things to be. You know, we might blow things out of proportion. We might overreact. We might take things personally. We might get upset about something that is quite of an innocent experience or situation. So this really brings our mind strongly into focus this week when we've got quite an emotional pull. I talked about the mind a bit earlier in the week. So this brings that sort of mental focus, but a need for us to see the bigger picture, to look at things differently, and be careful that we're not overreacting in the moment. We might find it more helpful to take some deep breaths, then respond instead of react. We might find that if we need to, we just don't interact at all for a few hours or a day or so, or whatever we can manage, and then deal with the situation that might, unless it's an urgent thing, of course. So let's be careful we're not sort of flying off the handle at things. We're not overreacting and being reactional, but we are taking our time to respond and sitting in with how we feel and responding accordingly. If we're not sure how we feel about something, then we might not need to respond yet, you know. So sometimes we just need to, you know, if people are pushing us for an answer or something, we may need to just say, look, I'm not quite ready to make this decision yet. And it comes back probably to a decision that I talked about for a bit earlier in the week. So looking at things differently is our theme. Let's keep perspective. Let's step back if we need to get a new perspective. And let's take our time and make sure that we're responding and not reacting. So thank you so much. Have a great week. I almost feel like I want to say good luck. Good luck, everyone. Let's sort of drop into ourselves, drop into our inner oceans. Maybe we want to disconnect from people in a general sense and just sort of sort things out for ourselves. I'm kind of feeling that early this week, so I don't know how I'll feel by the weekend, but I kind of feel that way, that I want to disconnect to reconnect with what's really important to me and to feel the deep feelings that I'm feeling that I can't describe right now. It's like a wash of emotion. So I want to sit in that. I want to learn from it. I want to see what these emotions have to offer and share with me. So thank you so much and have a great week. Take care. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary if you're celebrating. And we'll see you next time. Namaste. Thank you.